Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little speculation. So, this is my opinion. This is my speculation. That's not a fact. Facts are not opinions. So, viewers are always encouraged to do their own research, form their own opinions. Whenever I go on the internet and they've released the actual old emails from BRYAN KOHBERGER and say the probable cause affidavit, you can go with snooping, and then you can do side snooping. And I found a little something. I'm not sure if it's him, but it may be. I have a high probability. I believe these were made by him, and I think it can explain some things. Mainly, maybe why he didn't see the surviving witness if he was the one that left out of the house that night. There's a forum for those that experience visual snow. I had never heard about this diagnosis or this experience that people have with their eyes. And he allegedly posted, his username was xr.thosewithvisualsnow. And there's a picture that looks a lot like him. He would have been, I believe, about 15 when he first posted. You'll look at this user. Well, almost everybody puts their birthday on these anonymous forums. You can see here 00, year 00. But they joined in 2009 and they were last active on February 20th, 2012. And if you want to chat with other folks who also found this, you can chat on Reddit. And the subthread is under BRYAN KOHBERGER. When you open the Tapatalk and you search in the history, these are some of the posts that come up. And there's a lot of posts, so I'm just going to pick and choose. And if you want to go and search for yourself, go ahead. Caveat again, we do not know that this is BRYAN KOHBERGER. It could be another person that looks like him that had experienced these symptoms. Second caveat, if this is BRYAN KOHBERGER, this is quite a bit of time from the crime that he's accused of. However, whenever you have, say, if you've been convicted of a crime, you have a penalty phase, you have mitigation. This kind of stuff that I'm going to show you could be used in mitigating circumstances to show that perhaps he has been mentally ill for a long time. This is only my opinion. So let's read this. This is one of the first posts from this user. I can't remember anything recent or anything from childhood. I used to be able to remember everything from my childhood and everything every day for a month before ME. Now I'm just a blank soul living in the now. What hurts the most is knowing that every time I try to remember things from my past, I can't. And my mind is so hung up with the visual snow, all the migraine, visual snow effects mentally, the buzzing in my ear, that I can't even focus on that. I got it September 21st of last year, and ever since then I've been depressed. I can't remember anything at all, and I always have this horrible pressure in my head. My mind is never not on the visual snow, and I always wonder what a normal person would be doing while I sit there and suffer. This whole thing has made me crazy. I feel like my life is pointless because people can think about times with parents, childhood memories, and be happy, and I won't be able to. And on March 5th, 2011, someone had talked about brain damage, and he said, well, any damage to this part of the brain will show up on an MRI, no damage with mine. So this person had had an MRI on his brain, and so people had speculated that maybe BRYAN KOHBERGER has a brain tumor. If this is BRYAN KOHBERGER, this person has had an MRI already on his brain. October 29th, 2010. I felt completely disconnected from reality. I feel all the time that I'm living in my own reality. It seems as if my brain chemistry is altered from this, even though I'm certain it's not. At first, I felt very uninterested in the things I usually like to do, but then it changed to the point I saw no reason for anything, and everything became boring to me. I feel at times completely disconnected, and as if I can't live life like a normal person. When I think about my future, I think about how I will barely remember my mother and father, etc., because I have an altered memory, and also have been unable to think of them due to the 10 things I think about nonstop, all at once. Visual snow, altered brain, tinnitus, disappointment, regret, etc. I think that possibly I could have brought this onto myself from post-traumatic stress disorder or something similar, but I can't tell what it is. I've had 2 medicines mixed, Devalproex topiramate, with 16 extra strength Mucinex pills, and I felt this could have altered my brain, but I remember how it was before, and I remember that if I felt like it before, it is all real bullshit. If I have any chemistry change, I have this detox program that can fix it. He stayed on this message board, and on October 29th, 2011, he asked if anyone had used Xanax to help. And then he said, he was replying back, I never said Xanax was the cure. I wanted to know if it actually helped people. Okay, I will do this diet. I just wanted you guys to understand this before I started it. So he goes on this really extreme diet. This also would coincide with the time that allegedly BRYAN KOHBERGER went on an extreme diet. And then the user posted on May 12th, 2011, I always feel as if I'm not there completely, depersonalized. Mentally, I experience fog, lack of comprehension at some times, feel like my life is a movie, depersonalization, depression, no interest in activity, constant thought of unaliving, crazy thoughts, delusions of grandeur, anxiety, poor self-image, poor emotional skills, full caps, no emotion. I feel like nothing has a point to it. When I get home, I'm mean to my family. This started when Visual Snow did. I feel no emotion, and along with the depersonalization, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. Everyone hates me. Pretty much I am a arsehole. On May 14th, 2011, the user posted, Palinopsia is the least of my worries. I took Topomax before and it just made me insane. I broke my table for no reason. Seriously. Lol. I never really cared about after images since I had developed them at age 9 and they got intense. The user posted on May 28, 2011, my pupils were going crazy. I could barely look at light. I felt like a film over my vision and it got sensitive to light. It's like the film made stuff fade out, but not completely. Ever happened to you guys? It also looked to be like a whitish shaded circle in my vision, outlining the light I saw in my vision. Is this still going on now? Sort of. A lot of people on this forum talk about visual snow. I don't know, the way I liken it, since I don't have visual snow, is almost like, remember back in the day, if you're an oldie, whenever the stations would go out and you'd get that snow on your TV, they can get that kind of thing going on in their vision, in their peripheral vision, in their main vision, and some people just learn to live with it. I have a floater sometimes, and I just have learned to live with it. So I don't know how distracting this could be to different people. I'm sure it's relative. I believe this user posts as having tunnel vision and having a little bit of trouble with night vision. So if this person is BRYAN KOHBERGER and if he continued to have visual snow, that may account for the fact that he simply did not see that roommate as he passed her in the kitchen, past her door as he was leaving out of the residence. Speculation. May 29th, 2011, user writes, well, it seems whenever we eat unhealthy things, our symptoms worsen. Quote, mostly mental symptoms, end quote. Like for me, my tinnitus and snow increase when I eat junk. I think it is related to a chemical imbalance because our vessels are going haywire for some reason, and the fact food influences it may mean something. Also, changes in blood pressure will obviously increase chemicals and signals in order to get back on track, thus interfering with our chemicals even more, thus an increase in visual snow. Your blood vessels can't just be irritated for the sake of being irritated. As you said, migraines and visual snow are both almost identical. It is proven doing a detox diet takes migraines away. It removes the source that causes the chemicals and signals of the brain to go insane. Blood flow is influenced by these, thus preventing the blood vessels in the visual cortex from getting irritated. Throughout these posts, you'll see this user was using his diet in order to mitigate the effects of the visual snow he was experiencing at the time. And then the June 4th, 2011 post, again, if this ends up being Bryan, this could go to show that he'd been unwell for a long time. So let's read this. I've had this horrible depersonalization go on in my life for almost 2 years. I often find myself making simple human interactions, but it is as if I'm playing a role game, such as Oblivion. I can see what's going on. I'm slightly into it, but I can pause the game and focus on my real life. In this case, my life is the game, and my old self can be reached by pausing the game. But how? I often think of things that humans do, things I've done my whole life. I feel like an organic sack of meat with no self-worth, as I'm starting to view everyone as this. Everything I have done makes no sense. How did things get this way? How am I wearing this shirt? And who decided that humans shall wear shirts like this? Are we all just advanced animals with possession? Or is there more that I can't see? I can't connect. I view everything as I would if I was playing Oblivion, pointless and full of nothing, out of reality. I'm moving out of my house. My last holidays were already lived, but where was I? As my family group hugs and celebrates, I'm stuck in this void of nothing, feeling completely no emotion, feeling nothing. I feel dirty, like there's dirt inside of my head, my mind. I'm always dizzy and confused. I feel no self-worth. I'm intelligent, but I feel the opposite. I say things I don't mean. The last holiday in my house, the house I grew up in, the house I once contributed to, the house I once felt at home in, is past. As I hug my family, I look into their faces. I see nothing. It is like I'm looking at a video game, but less. I feel less than mentally damaged. It's like I have severe brain damage. I'm stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? I feel myself slipping away. I hear screams faintly, but I constantly battle away from it. What if I let go? Where would I be? Would I ever come back to reality? I try to remember where I originated from, but I can't. I barely remember my childhood. I often fear being 80 years old, alone, and having faint memories of my parents, everything I missed out on. I think about my father, what a good man he is, how I treat him like dirt because I have this condition and I can't take it. I might spiral out of control and lose myself in the void. I can't let it all go. All these regrets I predict for my future self. All of these thoughts of remorse. I got this when I was in my stage of discovery. Now I look in the mirror and I see this sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man in the mirror. He's a complete disgrace. He doesn't even deserve to live. I remember when I was 15, I would wander alone at 2 a.m. Everything was so generic. Nowhere felt like home. I saw things that were not there, a different reality. I felt eerie and alone. I died during those nights. I felt like a criminal, but where was my record? I can't talk without flinching now. I used to be this healthy, blonde-haired boy with blue eyes, and in a few years I have darker hair and darker eyes. Half the body weight? Where did I leave off? I try to sleep. I try to clear my head, but the pressure won't go away. The pain and the depression won't leave. Being me is this horrible disease that I was given. I think of this as I succumb to sleep, but I see a large intensity of black, yellow, white fuzz. It makes my mind fizzle, and I can barely keep in the bounds of reality. It is as if the ringing in my ears and the fuzz in my vision is simply all the demons in my head mocking me. I fall asleep, but I wake up quickly to bloody screams. Is any of this here? Am I brain damaged? No. Then why am I like this? I have these thoughts all in my head. I search for someone to relate to me. Everyone looks down upon me. No one can relate. As I tried to read, suddenly my eyes look right through the words. When I look up, I see blue dots near the center of my vision. Nothing I do is enjoyable. The user posted on December 19, 2011. I've had this for over 2 years, and I've had it bad in every single way. Not one night have I slept normal since, and I felt like I'm trapped here. I've been able to block it out for a while now, but I realize what is wrong, and it suddenly becomes unbelievable. I'm desensitized in every way now. People say these are supposed to be the years I enjoy and cherish. Well, I can't say I will cherish these days. This is the user's picture. Someone might say, well, where's his broken nose? Well, this is when he was young. This is before the boxing. And this is the full picture. Again, if this is not BRYAN KOHBERGER's post, anyone who can prove it to me, I'll take this down immediately and apologize. I want to say visual snow sounds like a real horrible thing to deal with. And in the bigger course of things, I hope this gives a bigger picture to the situation. You are more than welcome to go and look at all the users' posts. I put the ones I thought were interesting up here. If you use this content anywhere or decide to jump off, please give me credit. I don't have a whole bunch of views, and this is just a hobby for me, but I really would appreciate it. And so if you like this video, found it informative, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and you'll be notified the next time I upload. And without further ado, be kind to each other. Bye.